We are live. Thank you for tuning in to Naja Speaks. I'm Naja Wright Brown, your host. I'm here to help you. Let me help you find your vegan soul through food, people, events, and culture. Did you know that some countries on the continent of Africa are advocating for veganism and animal rights? We're going to talk about a veg fest taking place in Nigeria this month. And afterwards, we'll speak to Jessica Cruz, the organizer of LA based Vegan Street Fair. They're on a 9 city tour this year. So exciting, lots going on. Let's go to Nigeria. Welcome, Joseph Odika. How are you this morning? Well, it's morning here. Is it evening there?
Yes, it's evening here. Yes,
It's
I'm
7
very
in the
well.
evening
Thank you.
there. Awesome, awesome.
Yes.
So Joseph, talk to me. Why is Nigeria having a veg fest? Please tell us the background history here.
Okay. Thank you very much for bringing me on to this program. The reason why I established the Veg First Nigeria is because I saw the need and the gap in the area of climate change and animal exploitation. There is a lot going on in Africa, and we are not really doing much as other parts of the world are doing, like the Western world. Um, with the report from the UN and World Health Organization about antimicrobial resistance and climate change, I saw the need, for me as an animal rights organization and a civil society group to ensure that I play my own part to ensure that I get the people informed, about climate change and animal exploitation and what people stand to suffer, from eating products with animal origin. For instance, antimicrobial resistance, according to World Health Organization report, says that over 50 million people will die, from antimicrobial resistance from 2050. And this information is not going around. So many people don't know about this information. So I saw the need to let people know that you can stay alive if you start eating plants. You can also stay alive if you ensure that you cut your carbon footprints as far as menu is concerned, food menu is concerned. So this is the reason why I established, Veg First Nigeria to get the people informed about, the risks they stand to. I mean, the problem they stand, to face if they don't cut down, their meat in their food system. And another thing is, the food companies are not telling the truth about this issue. They are so quiet about it because they are making, so much money from animal exploitation. So we are the people who can speak, about these ills. So I see that as, you know, um, a big thing that I need to do for my people. That is the reason why I created Veg First. And then to also let the government know that, we as a civil rights organizations, we are holding them accountable for policy change. There's so much that they are supposed to carry, as a government who are supposed to serve the people, but they are not doing enough. We know that we need to change our food system policy, but they are not talking about it because politics has encapsulated everything, and we as a civil rights organization, we have to stand for the people. We need to stand up for the animals and speak. So that is what West Friend Nigeria is all about.
How many years have you been an activist in this area in Nigeria? How long? Tell us your story. How did you evolve to become, vegan?
I actually started as a writer. I own a magazine known as Polo Plus magazine. It's actually a magazine that talks about polo in Nigeria. But after seeing a pony suffered a limb injury in one of these tournaments, I had to change the column to animal welfare, where I report animal issues. But at the end of the day, I saw the need to transform my writing to fledged animal advocacy. That was in 2019. And 2 years later, I saw the need also that I have to become a vegan. If I'm advocating for animals, then I shouldn't have any business eating them. That is how the story of my veganism started. But it wasn't um, easy at first, something that I grew up with eating animals. So it was very difficult for me to lay it off just like that. But I started reducing, my meat intake, and at some point, I stopped eating meat. And 2 years now, I've stopped eating meat, and I'm still living.
I have the flyer here of the event. Um, it's taking place May 27th. Is this an outdoor event? Is it an online conference? Talk to us about what folks can expect here.
Okay, it's actually a 3 day event. We are starting with a road campaign. We want to sensitize the public, about veganism, about climate change, and about all the issues that are surrounded in animal agriculture. This is going to take place on the 25th, and then on the 26th, we are going on radio to talk to about 1 million people on radio. Through Africa Independent Television Radio Station. That is on the 26th. And then on the 27th, which is the Saturday, we are going to have, the full system stakeholders conference where we are bringing policymakers in the private and, public sector together, and then consumer groups as well, to look at, the problems and then share ideas, and innovations about how we can actually transform to, a just plant-based food system.
I have your Instagram account up. Is this primarily how you're promoting the event in Nigeria? How are people finding out about the event?
Yes, the official page for VegFest Nigeria is on our Instagram page, VegFest Nigeria, and then on Instagram as well. Joseph Odika is my Instagram handle, and then on Twitter we also have Upon Welfare NG. So those are the social media platforms where we'll be projecting, all the stories and events as they unravels.
Is this the first one?
No, 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 no. This is the second one. The first one was held last year around May, to be specific, but it was only based on, we are only spreading veganism to the public. We didn't have a conference, but this is the first time we're having, a stakeholder conference, on food system. This is going to be the first, and then after this, we'll be having subsequent food system conference because we want to ensure that we have a policy change around our food system.
How receptive has the community been in since it's the second one? What happened last year, and what do you expect to happen this year at VegFest Nigeria?
Like I said earlier, the one we had first year was public sensitization, and we have a list of people that we've been communicating with about how they need to go vegan. And interestingly, the vegan community in Nigeria is actually growing, particularly in Lagos. So this is a big win for us. Now, this very one is going to bring together stakeholders in the food system because
Yeah, I'm
it
looking
is
at
not
the
enough
speakers
for
that
you
you
to
have.
talk to somebody to check.
Hmm.
Yes, it is not enough, to have you tell an individual, to shift, his diet from meat to plant. But it will go a long way if you can have, a policy put in place, from the government angle. It will really speak so well, about the change that you are seeking for. Take for instance, like those who bring in cattle, they have subsidies, that they enjoy. But if government can remove these subsidies and then incentivize those who are willing to um, produce plant-based alternative, then that is a good policy in the food system. That is what we are fighting for.
That's what we talk about here in the states as well. So very familiar with that conversation as well. Subsidies in the plant based and the vegan space here would definitely assist because a lot of people feel going vegan is costly, but it isn't. Can you talk about some of the Nigerian dishes that you consume that can be easily veganized? Like, what do you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in Nigeria as a vegan?
Interestingly, vegan foods, like when we are talking about Nigerian cuisines now, we have plant-based food everywhere. The only thing that makes it different in any dish is the meat and the fish you find on any menu. Okay, for instance, now we have mushrooms and it's quite cheap. So So we can use this to produce mock duck. We can use it to produce, filamentous meat. That is what some of these vegan food companies in Lagos are making use of now. They use tofu, they use soya beans to make alternative proteins. So we are already seeing this transformation, and it is very, very easy to even prepare. So we need to let the people know that you can replace your meat, with the mushroom, which you're already eating, and you get so much, proteins from these alternatives, from these plants, from soya beans. Soya beans has about 16%, protein, just like what we have in a conventional meat. So why can't we just forget about this meat that we know causes climate change, that we know causes disease? Like M iron is found in meat, M iron is found in chicken. So it will do you a lot of good if you can stop eating any of this meat and then replace it with mushroom. You can replace it with tofu. So that is the message to our people.
You're tuning in to Naja Speaks, najaspeaks.com. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. We're talking about a Veg Fest happening Nigeria this month. It's a 3-day fest, and May 27th, Saturday seems like the big day, but it's going to be 2 days before that, leading up to the big event. Black Veg Society is one of the supporters, along with many. Let me bring up the flyer again. Many supporters involved with this event. You have Veg Fund, who's a big supporter, a Welfare World. Tons of people supporting this event. If you're in Nigeria, you know someone in Nigeria, you're traveling to Nigeria, please follow Joseph at VegFest NG. Find out more about this, because as you can see, this is a global issue. This isn't just not this is not just for the states. The vegan movement is global. Climate change is global. It is affecting everyone, everywhere, across the entire world, and we need to make a contribution of some sort if we want to reduce this negative impact on our earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, just check out some of these documentaries. One is Countdown to Year Zero. We are damaging the planet and the ecosystem, and we need to change our ways. We need to reduce animal agriculture. So again, VegFest Nigeria, support. BlackVegSociety.org is meeting people where they are on their journey towards holistic health, veganism, and the plant-based lifestyle. And one of the ways we're doing this is by introducing you to folks like Joseph in Nigeria and others, so people can make that connection. So thank you for tuning in. We have some people. Hi. Yes, you're looking at this. Harry, New Jersey, Unchained TV is the best. Yes, Naja Speaks is cross posting to Unchained TV. It's great to hear about Nigeria, and this is a universal message, Joseph. Yes, thank you so much, Joseph. What is your ask of the viewers? What do you want to tell everybody? Like, what is your call to action right now? What do you need? What do you want? What do you like to see?
Yes, my message this moment is not only to viewers, in Nigeria, but to other parts of the world, because climate change is a global issue, and we need a holistic change, a holistic approach, a universal and collective approach, to fight climate change. And now that we have reports that agriculture contributes largely to climate change, my message is we all have to cut down our footprints, from our diets, from petroleum use, from deforestation. We need to cut down, particularly on our food system. It's very, very important. So that is my message to the world. Please do this not only for the climate, but also, for animals, because a lot of billions of animals across the world, go through hell just because you and I need to eat. And thank God we have other alternatives. Please let us explore these alternatives and then leave the animals alone.
Joseph, one more time, talk to us about exactly what's going to go on leading up to the fest on the 27th. So you said on the 25th, what is happening? And is there going to be any online, or is this just accessible to people
On
in
the
Nigeria?
yeah,
Is there any global access?
on the 25th, which is Thursday, I think we are only doing like a public sensitization. Although we don't plan to have it online. It's, it's a public thing. We are doing it in person in the city of Ibadan, which is the largest city in, in Africa, in West Africa, to be precise. And this is one of the ways we have been, using to work with our work. We like to do campaign because we know that we need to get to the nooks and crannies of the state where message does not get to. So we try as much as possible to ensure that we get as far as getting to the locals, to know what we are doing. So we are doing this on the 24th, which is on Thursday. Yes, on Thursday. And then no, sorry, on the 24th, that should be Thursday. 25th is Thursday. And
Yes.
then the next day, which is Friday, we'll be going on radio to reach as many people as possible. We are targeting 1 million reach on radio. And what we'll be doing is sensitization as well. But the good thing is, it is also going on live stream, because the radio station is streaming both. They will stream in the video, and then they will project it, on all their social media platform. So I'm going to get that and share that with you maybe tomorrow. I don't have that link yet.
We have Brother Dietrich here from Philly, the city of Philadelphia. He's sending blessings. May the Veg Fest in Nigeria be a huge success and keep spreading the message. Thank you, Brother Deek. We appreciate you. I'm going to share that IG page again so you can take a look. So we can take a look at the pictures that you have on there, because you have a whole association that you're working with to advocate for veganism in Nigeria. In the other, what do you know about the rest of the continent of Africa? Because I know I've spoken to people in Morocco and Uganda, and they're doing works in their area. Do you know or have any connections with other folks in other countries in Africa?
Yes, definitely. Simo Hamed is from Morocco. Is the guy that started Morocco Veg Fest. I know about his
Yes.
work. The guy is doing well also in Morocco. And then there's this group I also belong to, Africa Animal Alliance. We are also
Yes.
working together, yes, to ensure that we spread the vegan message. I have quite a lot of connection in Uganda, in South Africa, in Tanzania, in Zimbabwe, and in Ghana. We are all working towards ensuring that we have like a just transition into the plant-based food system.
That's great to hear. I'm looking at this article that came out. Nigerians should adopt plant-based diets. And you didn't. There's an article here about your discussion on that. Any plans for any restaurant weeks? Because I know I was working with Pro Veg International and doing some presentations on, how you incorporate restaurant weeks in your area. Any any possibility of that happening in Nigeria?
Yes, definitely. It is very, very possible. I and my team, we are planning towards that immediately, after the successful host of the Veg Fest, because what we plan doing is we're going to be having like um, a platform where we'll be having people from the government quarters. We'll be having people from the food system, and then we'll be having a consumer group sending their representative. We've been having series of meetings to see how we can establish a communique based on plant based, which we are going to be passing to the Oyo State government to review and see if they can establish that as a guideline for the food system policy in Oyo State. Because I must be honest with you, if you really want to have like a transition, a just transition. It will not happen overnight. It's going to take some, transformative process. It's going to be involving, series of meetings. So that is what we plan to do. That is going to be the takeaway from this conference. We want to have a collective forum where we can have experts, that will be doing meetings with, and then we all agree on a communique that we establish and then send it to the government of Oyo State. And once we are done with that, we hope to, use a bottom to top approach from the state. Then we can get to the federal. And if we can have, the Federal Minister of Agric and the Federal Minister of Environment, adopt the communique and pass it into a policy, then we'll have, like a national change. That would be awesome.
Yes, I like the sign. The sign right here. If climate change is hoax, then don't complain about excessive radiation. Yes, we complain about a lot of things and not realizing the way food is processed, the way the animal production is happening is a contributor to a lot of the disease and the tragic weather related issues, all of that, zoonotic diseases like the pandemic that we just experienced. A lot of this is contributed to our need for animals, which is really not a need. We can eat plants. So everyone just has to play their role, and you do it by lifting up your fork, your spoon, your straw, and consuming plant-based foods. This is amazing. This is awesome. How about, so you have the youth also engaged in this as well? That's another thing that's been coming up. Like the youth is standing up for a lot of issues and advocating. So do you have a lot of youth engagement in your organization and in this movement in Nigeria?
Yes, we are doing this with the youth, and the good thing about this is that the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. We need to start passing the message into them. We need to start imbibing into their spirit that come. We have eaten animals enough. Your own generation should be the ones to to change this concept, to ensure that from your own generation onwards, animal eating becomes a thing of the past. So we are carrying everybody along. And then the youth also understand that the economic situation in Nigeria at the moment is not funny. Meat in the market is quite expensive. So if meat is expensive and you cannot afford it, why don't you look for a cheaper alternative? And that is mushroom. Mushroom is very, very cheap,
And I
in the
love
market.
mushroom. They
Soya
have
beans is
all
cheap.
types.
It's cheap also.
And they have all types of mushrooms.
Yeah.
All types of mushroom. Did you do tell us what you eat for? But what do you eat for breakfast specifically, and for lunch and dinner? What does your breakfast look like each morning?
I, I eat fruits in the morning, fruits,
Okay,
and then in the afternoon I eat my eba is made from cassava, and then my meat, that is mushroom. And then
I
at
love
night
it.
I eat fruit again.
I love it. I love it. So
Yes.
your skin looks
I'm 49.
glowing.
I'm 49, but I look like I'm 49, but I look like less than 30 years.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm 51. So it's amazing. One more time, I'm going to bring this flyer up and I'm going to shout out the supporters for Veg Fest Nigeria 2023. I appreciate you coming on, Joseph. Let's shout out Veg Fund, Black Veg Society is a supporter. You have the Vegan Society here. I can't read the rest of it. Sentient
Altiria
Media.
from New Zealand. Yeah.
Oh, New Zealand. Okay, great. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Sentient Media. You have Peter Odika. I guess that's a relative. That's a company that he has there.
Yes.
The
That's my family foundation. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, yeah. You tell us who are you. Shout out these supporters. You know them better than me. Without the support of sponsors and funders, it's really challenging to put events on. So, they need your support out there. How can people best get in touch with you, Joseph? And anything you want to say before we conclude?
Yes, before I talk about how I can be contacted, I want to say a very big thank you to all the sponsors, particularly your own donation came very, very early, and that did a lot of help. That is Niger Speak, Niger Right. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
Fake,
You're
yes,
welcome. And we don't have any money over here, but
no, no, no
that's
matter how little it
a,
is,
that's our form
it's
of
really, really,
tithing.
no, no, it's really, really helpful. This event, has taken a lot of money, and I think we are doing it for the right reason. If not for your own contribution, Beg Fund, um, Aquatic Animal Alliance. Although Aquatic Animal Alliance, they didn't give us money, but they'll be very, very pushy. They'll be very, very supportive. Um, the Vegan Society of Algeria, the Vegan African Fold. You guys have been very, very awesome. If not for the support you guys give, this event wouldn't have, happened in the first place. Because I wouldn't lie to you, the money that was spent on this is really, really huge. But we pray that it's going to meet the expected, needs. Thank you very much for your support. I can be reached on my direct number plus 234 810 389 1171. Again, plus 234, which is the country code, 810 389 1171. And my email is info@uponwelfare.org.
It's a pleasure speaking with you, Joseph. I hope to soon travel out to Nigeria and see what's going on the vegan and animal rights advocacy scape. Thank you so much again. Sending blessings for a successful event. I know how hard it is to organize events, so sending many, 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 many blessings. And we have someone, Ayubu, happy to follow this conversation. Happy to you both friends on Vegan Movement. Big up. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for your comment. Much appreciated. And on that note, I'm going to hang out and wait for our next guest while I make some announcements. Thank you so much, Joseph. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay. It is so great to see other countries, especially our Black and Brown countries, advocating for veganism, because the thought process is that this is a white movement, and it's not. We've been doing. When I think of Dick Gregory, when I think of Angela Davis, when I think of Sister Cicely Tyson, they were in this movement, and they were pushing the agenda to eat holistic, eat plant-based, and to our other brothers and sisters that are continuing to push the movement, it is important. We don't need to eat animals. Look at what's going on with the environment. Look at what's going on with our health in general. We're not doing good out here. So garbage in, garbage out. You gotta eat better. And on that note, I just want to talk about the upcoming Vegan Soul Fest. Vegan Soul Fest is coming up August 19th, August 20th. There are slots open for food vendors. I mean, we have over 350 applications. We are looking for more food vendors. Obviously, we did receive a lot of food vendor applications, but again, you have to come, with the business license. As long as you're registered in the state with your business license, and just able to, get a temporary sales tax ID or have a sales tax ID, just all of that stuff. Go to vegansoulfest.com and get your tickets before they go up. Vegan Soul Fest is presented by Flip It, a project of the Better Food Foundation. Still seeking sponsors. And again, like I said, food vendors, go to vegansoulfest.com for more info. And now we have our next guest. I'm so excited to bring my sister on, because I have not spoken to Jessica Cruz.
Hi, everybody.
We spoke in May 2020. That's like 3 years ago, over 3 years ago. Like the pandemic was just beginning. And you know how you just get into your own little world, right? And it's like I turn around and then you're a new woman, and then you got all this stuff going on. And I'm like, I gotta bring Jessica back on. What is going on out there, Jessica? Talk to
Oh my God, what is not going on? It felt like it was legitimately like 10 years between that time. I know the whole world felt the same way, but yeah, so much has changed for me. I started this tour for Vegan Street Fair, which I'm sure we'll talk about. I lost 80 pounds during pandemic. I got divorced from my ex-husband, who's a beautiful human being. We still love each other. We co-parent expertly, but it's like a new life. It's like a new life from just 3 years ago.
That's why I asked about that bio, because I'm like, is this updated? I don't even know what's going on anymore.
No, I forgot to update it, girl. I'm so swamped. I'm sorry.
So let's talk about, I have a picture here, so I hope you don't mind, because let's talk
go
about this first before we get into Vegan Street Fair. I want to talk about your journey. So folks, and this is the first time, because I think you just recently posted this picture. So I spoke to Jessica for the first time in May of 2020. I had her on with Omawale Adewale. We were talking about organizing events, because he organizes Black Veg Fest. Jessica does Vegan Street Fair, and we were doing Vegan Soul Fest. So we were just having this casual conversation about how to organize fests and things like that. So October 20th, Jessica has this picture of herself, and I'm not there yet. I may be there, because during the pandemic I was working out, because I was and then after the pandemic I kind of like let myself go. So I'm not there yet, but if I don't do something, I might be there. And then August 2021, look at the picture now. And then look at you now. Talk to us. What happened?
Girl. This is little Cat, by the way. She's always in the mix. My baby. Yeah, so I don't know that I realized how unhappy I was during, the 8 years of my life that I kind of let myself go. And when I got divorced, I had a lot of time on my hands, right? It was during COVID. It was during 2020. So I decided to make the change. Finally, I used to be a personal trainer. I used to be an athlete. I was a cheerleader and a personal trainer and a snowboarder. And I did so many sports that the body that I was in didn't feel like my own, but it was because I was a mother. I am a mother. I got swamped with events. There was just so much going on that I just stopped taking care of myself.
Right.
And so I had time to do that again once, COVID hit. And it was a lot easier for me, I think, than a majority of people. Like you said, you were working out during COVID. And I didn't have any temptations. I didn't have opportunities to go out. It wasn't like I was at festivals eating delicious food. I was home. So I really took that time to focus on me, put myself back in the front seat, and make myself accountable to the choices that I was making. And I lost 80 pounds in 10 months. That was not easy to do. I was working out twice a day. I was eating very, very cleanly, lots of steamed vegetables, lots of protein, and just focused. I was focused like you would not believe. There were no temptations. I was like, I'm doing this. I'm getting it. I didn't know that it would take me 10 months. I didn't know how long it would take. I just knew I had a goal to get back to what I remember.
Right.
So I just took all those steps, and here I am.
Man, I mean, that is definitely, that's a blessing. So congratulations to you. Now let's talk about what's going on with Vegan Street Fair, because when we spoke, you were doing that in the Vegan Exchange LA.
Correct.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to switch my camera. That was making me feel uncomfortable. I don't know why.
No problem. And now you're on a 9-city tour. What's different this year? Because were you doing the fest last year? I don't even remember, because I don't even know when people were opening up doing fests. Were you doing any of the street fairs last year?
So we were able to bring back Vegan Street Fair in 2022. Okay. Vegan Exchange came back in 2021, about July.
Okay.
Vegan Street Fair LA is always in March. So we had to wait until March to have another event.
Right.
We were going to try to have a VSF nights in October, but COVID was still kind of, running rampant, October 2021. So we waited till March, and March was our very first vegan street fair since COVID, since 2019.
Wow.
A lot of people don't realize that we had to cancel vegan street fair 2 weeks before it was scheduled to happen.
Wow.
And if you know how big,
yeah, that sucks.
If you know how big vegan street fair is, you can understand like how much work and time and energy and money we infused into that event, from staff to banners to graphics. We had done a production studio that year where we invited all the vendors out and shot B-roll for them and shot all these amazing high quality interviews. We spent a lot of money that year. And, you know, frankly, I'm surprised we're still here, because when you lose $250,000, you know, in an event, how do you survive? How do you come back from this?
We could talk about, I should have been talking to you, because we could have talked about that last year, you know, when we came back from the pandemic, but that's a whole nother story. How do you come back? You got to come back very quickly, which is what you did. So the 9-city tour.
Yeah.
What does this whole program look like, and why a tour? Why is that a different thing this year? Why did you want to take on more stress?
that is the question, really. It's not why did you want to do this? It's what is wrong with you? For me, what I realized is vegan street fair, and you know, I'm from New York originally, so the idea for vegan street fair was to have a street fair very similar to the things that I was familiar with going to my entire life, where you don't have to be of the culture to come and experience the culture. So you'd go to Italian festivals. You know, the San Gennaro Festival down in Little Italy is iconic. I mean, it's been there for over 30 years. I think it's 40 at this point. And my inspiration for Vegan Street Fair was that I wanted to mainstream veganism in a way that's like, you don't have to be vegan to come and enjoy this stuff. You can just come and enjoy the vibe and enjoy the food and leave happy and think like, okay, that was veganism. I maybe can do this. And when we came on the scene in LA in 2015, there were no free vegan festivals in Los Angeles, period. Everything that was existing, there were 2 events, and they were both paid ticketed events. So I kind of wanted to flip that on its head and go like, no, I want everyone to experience this. So I did a free festival. It was very wildly successful in the first year. We had 10,000 people on the street, which is a feat. And we realized that we had something very special. And throughout the years, through 2019, pre-COVID, we went from 10,000 people to 60,000 people in our last year in 2 days, which is bonkers, right? So then we started in 2018, the Vegan Exchange LA, which is a weekly market because people wanted something more regular, and you can't do Vegan Street Fair more regularly because it's just too big. Right. Maybe I could do something smaller. So with Vegan Street Fair and with Vegan Exchange, we kind of created a culture in Los Angeles that is now very, very pop-up heavy. So you'll see in Los Angeles specifically a vegan event every single day of the week, if not 2 of them.
Nice.
There are plenty to choose from. And I, you know, I'm humble as they come, but I would be remiss in saying that I know that Vegan Street Fair had a huge hand in doing that, because that was our goal. Our goal was to mainstream veganism so much that, number one, new vendors and people that had a passion for veganism could create a business that could thrive in the pop-up space, and also that other organizers decided to create events too. And we've done that. You know, I can't tell you how many organizers have come up to me and said, you've inspired me. Can I use this graphic you created and make it my own? Can I use this wording you used and make it my own? It's like, sure, they'll tell me directly, I was inspired by your event and I'm creating my own off of you. So LA is good. LA is right? Right. It's like, I did what I came to do here. And so why don't I do that elsewhere? In other cities that maybe need it, in other cities that don't have the same type of infrastructure, in other cities that maybe do have something going on for them, but need a little bit of a push. You know, we're doing Seattle this year, and I'll go over the tour schedule momentarily, but you know, people are like, why aren't you doing it in Portland? Everybody knows Portland is a vegan city. Why would I do it in Portland? I want to expand the vegan community in places that need a little bit of help. And Seattle is actually a very, very beautifully vegan city that people don't really know about. So why would I do it in Portland? I'm going to go to Seattle. You can come up from Portland. That's a really short drive.
Right.
So the tour was really just a response to the fact that we already did something phenomenal in LA, and we wanted to keep expanding that because we know the impact of what we've done. I'm very, very proud of what we did here, including being friends with some of the most incredible event organizers on the planet, yourself included, Amawale included, you know, Rich out in Philly, and all these incredible people that are already doing the work. It's like, how can we keep doing this as a team? Because we can't do this in a vacuum. We do this as a unit. We do this as a team. And, you know, I say it all the time, a rising tide lifts all boats. And I just felt like Vegan Street Fair could continue to usher the vegan lifestyle in more places than just this city. There's already very, very saturated. So moving on.
You're going to my hometown, the Bronx. You know, I don't know if you know that I'm a native New
if I knew
Yorker
that.
myself.
I don't know if I
Yeah,
knew
I'm a
that.
native New Yorker myself, hailing from the Bronx, the South Bronx. So this Saturday, May 20th, Vegan Street Fair is making its next stop. Now, I don't know if this is a second or third stop, but this is its next stop, and it's going to be on 1055 Jerome Avenue at Reverend T. Wendell Foster Park. That's not too far from my area because, you know, I'm right over there near Yankee Stadium, you know. So when I look at the zip code 10452, I'm 10451. So it's right in the area. So it's 100. First of all, it's free. For all the folks who's like, oh, you know, they don't want to pay to get into anywhere. It's a free event, free entry, 100% vegan, family friendly, DJs, live DJs and entertainment. $4 bites available. Very important because a lot of people, they don't want to pay $15 or $20 for platters. It happens at festivals. You get those festival food prices. $4 bites available. Tons of vendors, apparel, kids area, and games. Man, I'm trying to figure out this way how I'm going to get up there this weekend. There's just so much going on. So I'm like, you know, praying like, okay, I'm going to make this trek up there to enjoy this festival. So talk about what that 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. looks like. What can people expect? What should they be doing to prepare if they're in the area or traveling to that area?
Yeah, so we always remind people, you know, it is a free festival. Bring as many people as possible because for us, it's like we do this for you all, right? We do this as a team. We do this as a moment of pride. I love when people bring folks to Vegan Street Fair and they're like, this is my mom, this is my brother, this is my so-and-so, and they're interested in veganism, and they bring them to Vegan Street Fair like a badge of honor. I love that. So bring folks, like send this to as many people as possible that you know, bring them with you. We do have a map that's up so you can plan your day. We are posting menus by tomorrow at the latest.
Do you have a map?
So people can.
I'm going to your site. Is it on the Instagram?
It's on the Instagram. It's on the Instagram. It should go up on the website momentarily. Yeah, it's on the Instagram.
Okay. Let me know where I need to be. Is this
so all the top. Wait, are you going backwards? Is the bottom? How we going? Okay,
I'm going
there we go.
up.
Yep.
Okay.
Keep going up. There
I
we
want
go.
to see the map. Is that it?
That's the map. Yeah. Okay. There you go. We'll put it up on the website momentarily. Thanks for the reminder. And then in terms of the menus, you know, I've gotten messages from people left and right that tell me they've spent 3 hours looking at a menu to decide what they're going to eat for the day. And I love that because I take a lot of time and energy to put those things together. But, you know, what I have gluten-free options and soy-free options and nut-free options and things that people really need to see so that they're familiar with what they're getting into and they can plan their day. So bring Tupperware. These are all my tips. So if y'all are not writing this down, get a pen and paper or your notes ready because I'm giving you all of the pro tips. Come early. Honestly speaking, you show up at 4 and then you're mad that people sell out. For starters, if they sell out, you should be happy because that means that they had a successful day. Okay?
Exactly.
So that's for starters. Come early. Do not drive there if you can afford it. Like take public transportation as much as humanly possible. I put it in this specific vicinity for a reason. It's near so many trains. It's near Metro North. There's a lot going on. Uber there if you can. I just don't ever recommend people driving to any Vegan Street Fair because we put it in the middle of a very bustling city for a reason. Why does Jessica do this? I don't put it on an island somewhere. I don't put it in an expo park somewhere that you can't reach. I put it in a walkable city where there's people that live around it because I want those people to experience veganism. You know, I tell people this all the time. I don't create Vegan Street Fair for vegans. You may or may not like that. But this is a fact. Vegans are going to find the vegan food. I'm not worried about us. I don't need to make you more vegan. Vegan Street Fair is built for non-vegans to experience and explore veganism from the perspective of fun, exciting, great food, good energy. That's what I want it to be. So I'm not making this for y'all. I'm not putting it somewhere that you have to drive 2 hours to if you live in a specific city. I don't do that. So don't drive there. I'm telling you.
It's not in the city, not in New York. Because I'm looking at the 165th Street. I'm like, okay, I know what's up with that. And Jerome, as soon as you say Jerome Avenue, it's a wrap.
You're not gonna find parking. You're not gonna find parking. Just plan ahead. Just plan ahead. Exactly. And some people will park in a lot and Uber there. Just make plans that do not include trying to find parking that day. Or if you do, just plan to spend a good amount of time looking for parking. I don't recommend it. We will let you know what parking structures are available ahead of time. But again, try not to drive there. What else? We're kind of pulling a little bit away from the kids' activities because it may be a little soggy out there, but that doesn't mean you're not going to have a good time. The DJ will still be there. The music will be fantastic. The people will still be there. The trucks and the crafts and the 11 to 7 is going to be not enough time as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, no, it's never enough time. People want late night stuff. So awesome. So make sure you go to Vegan Street Fair on IG to get this information because it's very important. So follow. Are things getting easier with organizing events, Jessica? Is it easier after or prior to the event? Like, let me know.
Yeah, you of all people would know. Like, does it get easier? I mean, like in LA, I can pretty much do LA in my sleep, right? Vegan Exchange pretty much runs itself. I have a team that operates that thing without me having to even be there. The new cities are a little bit trickier, and I knew what I was up against, but it was definitely one of those things where it's like, what are you doing? Why did you make these choices? And because you have to deal with a lot of different municipalities in every city, right? So you got to deal with city council, you got to deal with the street services people, the fire department, the health department, the police department, all the departments under the sun. And everybody's different, and everybody's got a different energy, and everybody's got a different attitude, and you have to really be okay with moving in a flexible way because everyone is different. They're people at the end of the day, and a lot of them work in a civil job. They're not necessarily happy with what they're doing, and so you got to break through to like a human. And it's not getting necessarily easier. However, I do have a fantastic team that makes my job easier. And I think that is the key. And I know you can probably speak to that as an event organizer yourself, but it's like, I wear a million hats. When I have team members that understand the assignment and they know exactly what their role is, those things do make my life easier, and they make the events a lot easier because 1 less, 2 less, 5 less things I have on my plate means I can focus on other stuff like social media strategy or bringing in new features or new things. And so, this is our second time in New York. We did do one in 2017. There's a video somewhere on my Instagram there if you want to pull that up. It was really fantastic. And but this still feels like year one to us because that was 2017.
Right.
So
things were different. I'm on the page. I want to look at that, like you said. Yeah. So it's on that Instagram page, the one in New York. So let's go back to the page. Let's take a look at it. We're here together. The bottom, way down.
So you're gonna go back.
Beautiful
up again.
Page. I love it.
You're going back. Thank you. You're gonna move back up again.
Look
at all these photos. God, now
I love it. I mean, let everyone see. Look at it. This is awesome.
Right. All right, keep scrolling. It's more to the
brand ambassador food, and that's what people want to see in food. All this vegan food while we're scrolling through. Look at the vegan food. My food is better than your food. And you got John hosting. This is the first time for the 9. John, he was hanging out with us last year.
Yes, I love that guy, man. He's such a G. I really love that guy. All right, we're almost there. Keep it going. And those are the LA menus there. These are all LA information.
The food looks amazing, man.
So good, man. We're just so excited.
Happy Cow was there. That must have been LA, right?
That was LA.
Happy Cow. And you had to reschedule one. Oh, you're rescheduling one. Which one? That's Miami. What happened with Miami? Yeah. I remember that one.
We didn't have enough space, and so the city wanted. And New York kind of did the same thing to us. So they made us add the park. And so we were like, okay, so we had a little bit more time to do that one, but Miami we did not. Okay, so it's right here on the left-hand side with all the
people. Big one with the people?
Yes.
Let's play that. Can we hear?
Trivia. Did you all know that Vegan Street Fair has already been to New York? That's right. We were there in 2017. It was our very first event outside of LA. It was at the Grand Bazaar. Check that out. So many people. We had some of the best vendors ever. Look at Sabrina. She's so freaking cute. There's John, badass vegan. He's been to damn near every single Vegan Street Fair, I swear. The food was amazing. The crowds were incredible. Oh my God, I remember that mac and cheese from freaking Vegan. So damn good. We are super stoked to bring this all the way back to my hometown in New York, actually the Bronx this time, on May 20th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's free entry. You can get a fast pass if you'd like, but we just want you to bring your folks, have a good time, enjoy all these incredible vendors, make some memories, dance with us, laugh with us, and come back again over and over and over again. That's what we want to do. We'll see you there.
Fast pass. Yes. Talk about that. What does that mean? Fast
pass. So I'm a theme park junkie, or I used to be anyway. Like I've traveled the country going to theme parks and things like that. And people were complaining at the first Vegan Street Fair about the lines. So in 2016, I was the first ever to do it. And of course, everyone gets inspired by you. And then they start creating fast passes. So fast pass is basically an expedited line to the food. So you have one line for general ordering, and then you have one line for fast pass ordering, and you get a wristband for that. You know, you pay a little bit extra for it, but if you want to maximize your time at Vegan Street Fair, it's just one of those added benefits. You don't have to have it if you're fine with standing in lines, but it's just another thing to kind of give people who do want or do have it the ability to not have to wait in lines for a long time. Because my whole thing is accessibility, you know, like we talk about. That's why I have the $4 item, because if I am a person that only has $4 in my pocket and I'm not vegan, you mean to tell me I have to spend $20 on a whole plate? Like, give me something delicious for $4, because the point is to plant seeds. The point is not to like gouge people. And yes, we need to make money. All of us need to, as much as we hate it. We hate talking about it. It's just a fact. We have to put food on our table. That's why we do what we do, you know? But we can find ways to make things a little bit more equitable in terms of accessibility. So like if you only have $4 and you're trying to experience vegan food, I don't want to cap you. And the $4 item, I think those are our two main, you know, Vegan Street Fair features. We have three main Vegan Street Fair features that kind of separate us from all the other events. The $4 or less option, the menus. Nobody's doing that because it takes a ton of work and energy, and the fast passes. And so we just create an experience. It's less of a festival where it's a whole festival of line waiting. It's like, what is the energy you're getting from this? And how do we make it so that every type of person can come and enjoy and experience Vegan Street Fair in the way that they have the ability to do so?
Right. Brother D is here. Wow, this Vegan Street Fair sounds like it's going to be popping. Yeah, and you're right there in Philly, Brother D. So you might, you know, just want to trek up a little bit, check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I'm just saying, you know,
yes.
just you know, be careful with the park somewhere, you know, take public transportation or Uber or whatever, because New York can be pretty busy. Yes, it's awesome layout and presentation. It's a wonderful thing. Jessica's been doing this for forever, so she's definitely an OG in the game. And taking on these different cities and municipalities, I can only imagine. So the team, what you said, the team is the key, because without the team, you know, it just makes things a good team, a team, you know, that's best fit for what you're doing. It can make life a lot more challenging and organizing. So sending blessings there. So it looks exciting. Like, man, I'm just like right now, I'm like, okay, I got to figure out if I'm gonna get up there Friday, and you know, like, you know, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. What are some tips you can just share with aspiring event organizers? And I'll give you I'll just give you something to think about. Last night I got a text from someone that was like, hey, you know, how you doing with your thing, you know, and I'm doing my thing over here, you know, let's cross post to each other's pages. And you know, you kind of get like, okay, what, you know, how does that work? Give us some.
That's such a great question. I think that we all we need each other. And oftentimes people see other events, vegan events specifically, as competition. And that's the opposite approach to how we should be doing this, because I firmly believe that if we're trying to mainstream veganism and we're all trying to do good work on behalf of the animals and for this environment and for the planet, we cannot be living on an island. It's not possible. It's not possible. You're going to cut yourself off at the knees. And as I mentioned before, rising tide lifts all boats. So when I am good with an event organizer, man, there is no stopping the promotion. Like Vegan Block Party down in Miami, I'm cool with. Seed Miami, I'm so cool with. There's events up here in LA that I'm super cool with. And then to be frank, there's events in LA I'm not cool with. And that's just me being raw and real and honest. There's events in the East Coast I'm not cool with because, they want to bully and push people around. And I'm just like, nobody wins. Nobody wins with that type of mentality because I don't know if you remember Vegan Fat Kid. Vegan Fat Kid is one of my favorite people on the planet. He doesn't really post on social anymore, but we would talk about this a lot because people would see vegan events as competition, even though they weren't on the same day or they weren't the same type of format.
Right.
And he would say, listen, it's like superhero movies. If you like a Marvel movie and you go see a Marvel movie one weekend and you are all high on this amazing energy that you just got from watching this Marvel movie, there's a DC movie that comes out next week. You're still high from this Marvel movie. You're going to go see the DC movie. It's not like you're picking and choosing. You're going to want all of them.
Right.
And how does that hurt you as an event organizer? It doesn't. In fact, I think it helps you to have other really fantastic festivals, as long as they're not stepping on your toes, as long as they're not shading you, as long as they're not being nasty people. I think that cross-promoting with other festivals, like Vegan Women's Summit is also the same weekend. I'm going to be promoting hers. She's going to be promoting mine. I mean, it's just a matter of realizing why we do this and understanding that I'm special and I'm unique in what I do. You're special and you're unique in what you do. Why don't we just be special and unique, but also push each other along the way, like be each other's wind in our sails. Doesn't take anything away from me. It's abundance.
You just dropped some jewels because that's very important information. Like there's just so much, there's a lot to go around for everyone, and everyone isn't going everywhere, and everyone doesn't want to do everything, and people have their culture and their likes and dislikes. So it is just so much going on out there. So yeah, I'm so glad you dropped those jewels because it's very, 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 very important. So thank you for sharing that tip.
Yes.
Abundance versus
Scarcity.
the scarcity mentality.
There's plenty for everyone. There's plenty for everyone. Do you know how many vegans I know? There's maybe 3 or 4 weekly events that happen in LA on any given time frame. Those vegans go to every single one. They're not picking and choosing. They want it all. Regular events don't worry about other events. They're just doing their thing. Why are we infighting in events? It makes zero sense to me. As long as you're not like purposefully choosing a date on another person's date and you're letting other events know. Like I just had an event in another city. I told them, I said, hey, I'm going to come to your city. And they were like, maybe not. And I was like, you know what? I won't. Like if you, it's no, the people won't be happy about that, but you're the boots on the ground. If you feel like you need more time, and you're a little scared, which is silly to me. I could obviously say a lot of things about that. That's not my journey. It's not my journey to convince you otherwise.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, I just feel like scarcity doesn't help anybody. You got to be in an abundant mindset, period.
Love it. All right. Well, you're listening to Jessica Cruz at Vegan Street Fair. Please follow him on IG. Make your way to New York. If you're in New York and the Bronx, please check out the Vegan Street Fair. Let me bring up that flyer one more time. I swear I'm trying to, get my schedule so I can get up there because I haven't been to one yet. Now I'll be in LA the end of July because I'm going to the AVA Summit. So hopefully there's something I can get into out there.
Yeah,
That's going in July.
We'll have vegan exchange.
Okay, because I want to check it out. Yeah. So May 20th, 11 to 7, Reverend T. Wendell Foster Park, 1055 Jerome Avenue. Make your way there. It sounds like it's going to be a great time. They've been doing this for years. They know what they're doing. Jessica, how best can people get in touch with you directly or follow you, or what else do you have to say before we go?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I love talking to you, and we need to do this more often and not every 3 years. As far as I'm concerned, that's just how I feel about it. But you know,
Oh
we're all
no, yeah,
busy.
I'm okay. We went to monthly talks, man. You know,
Yeah, I'm down.
everybody
I'm
just been
super
going
down.
through. I'm gonna lose. I just need to lose 40 pounds. So I gotta do maybe 35. I'll take 30, but we'll talk about it.
Baby steps. It's just baby steps. Yeah, so if y'all want to follow along, definitely follow us on Instagram at Vegan Street Fair. Our website is veganstreetfair.com. I run everything. So anytime you hit up the DMs, it's me. If you're emailing us at info@veganstreetfair.com, that's also me. Any which way that you can contact Vegan Street Fair, whether it's TikTok, Twitter. I don't really go on Twitter, so don't go there. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, it's all me. So I'd love to engage with you all. If you're a vendor and you're interested in our festivals or our events, definitely hit us up. We want to continue to bridge the gap between veganism and event spaces and come back from COVID better than ever, because sometimes it still feels like we're in it. And
Oh yeah.
and you know what I mean? And events took it the hardest. These hardworking vendors, man, they need us and we need y'all. And it's all really just such a beautiful space that I cannot see die. We do too much good work, and we're grateful that we have all these amazing vendors and all these amazing attendees who support us and love us. And hopefully, for those of you who do not know who we are, you will be a part of this journey as well. We are starting a Kickstarter here shortly. Also, side note, because we are trying to take this to more cities in 2024. So that Kickstarter will come out in about 8 weeks. And we really hope that people will support it so that we can be not just in 9 cities next year, but maybe 18 cities next year. That's the goal.
Need the money, definitely. We can talk about that all day. I'll hit you up later about that. You got your hands full right now. It's a pleasure seeing you again, Jessica. Sending blessings. You look great. Cross my fingers I can get up there Saturday so I can take part in the festivities and enjoy all the great food.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Until then, please stay well, stay blessed, and go vegan, try vegan, do vegan.
Bye, everybody.